Hey, my name is Chris. I live in Las Vegas and I'm a magical practitioner and occultist. And today I wanted to talk about my love for Bewitched. Now, Bewitched was a show that I grew up watching. If you've ever seen it, you must think it's funny. It was about a lot of different things about married life in the 60s and the 70s. Now, it's not the witchcraft that I love about the show. I do love that aspect. It's not the comedy. It's not the trickery. It's not even two dicks for the price of one. What I loved about Bewitched was all the dog whistles and the salutes to the counterculture of the time. And some of the references to the counterculture are very mild, and some of them are just loud in your face. Now, keep in mind what was going on while Bewitched was being told. Now, this was during the 1960s to the early 1970s, and Bewitched basically tackled a lot of subjects that were going on in society at the time. Basically, the anti-war movement was going on. There were a lot of hippies that were taking over in counterculture of the time. That scene was going on. The women's movement was going on, where women were trying to gain more independence. The civil rights movement was going on, where equality was key and they were trying to do integration. Also, later into the 70s, the gay rights movement was going on. So you gotta understand that this was an emotionally charged time. And basically Bewitched accounted for all of it. Now, above me are examples of the dog whistles to the counterculture of the time. Now, that is Serena. She is Samantha's cousin, and she's kind of the hippie witch of the group. And this episode, she's giving this guy, Larry Tate, a pill to become younger. Now, keep in mind, this is the 60s and the 70s, and younger people were giving drugs to the older crowd, and the older crowd, too, of the time were turning on and taking a trip. That is what this is alluding to. Every time in this show, when a witch gives some sort of pill to somebody, it's all about medication. This one, you might not think of this as being a dog whistler to the counterculture, but it most definitely is. So every time you see Samantha cleaning her house at super speed, you have to understand that housewives of the 1960s were medicated out of their mind, and it was so common back then that housewives would take amphetamines not only to keep house, but to stay thin. And it was so common back then to where doctors would honestly give housewives medication to wake up in the morning, and they would give them medication to go to sleep at night and to stay skinny. And it was very common, and that's what this is alluding to. She's not cleaning that house because of witchcraft. She's cleaning that house because she's taking some pharmaceutical help. That's what's going on when that is happening in Bewitched. And the next one is one of my favorites. Now, what is that? What is that on the table? Now, in this episode, Samantha's mom goes to a warlock to try to have the warlock seduce her to not be a mortal's wife anymore. But at his apartment is that thing right there. And keep in mind, there are other episodes of Bewitched where every now and then Endora will teleport into Samantha's house and she will be hitting a hookah. There's a couple of episodes where Dr. Bombay will teleport into Samantha's house and he has a hookah. The deal is the counterculture. It was a nod to everyone who was smoking pot at the time. And it was a nod to the hippies. So again, the next time you watch Bewitched, keep in mind, they're not just telling a story about witches and humans. They were telling a story about the culture of the time.